Steph Curry. I want to start with Steph Curry because this guy had one of the greatest finals performances I've ever seen. It doesn't quite live up to LeBron in 2016, but this was, I feel, by far, maybe not by far, I think I'm getting a little hyperbolic. This was the best that Steph Curry has ever looked in the finals. And I don't know if I'm saying that because this is the first time, like, he was really the centerpiece of this discussion. Of course, in 2015, he really didn't play that well, not even close to where he was at this year. And of course, Andre Iguodala, for some reason, won Finals MVP. I think we need to have a referendum on that at some point, where the NBA polls the media, the players, and the fans, and just sees how people feel about AI taking that Finals MVP from Steph Curry. And then, of course, the two Durant championships, where Kevin Durant, of course, secured Finals MVP, but to average 31 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, shoot 48% from the field, 43% from three. Steph, without a doubt, deserved to be Finals MVP. I was a little nervous that, folks were going to look at Andrew Wiggins and how fantastically he played, which he was a huge piece. He was critical to Golden State rising around Steph Curry. I mean, we can say that, Andrew Wiggins was the reason that Golden State won the championship, but we can only say that with the understanding that obviously Steph had to be Steph for his supporting cast to elevate the team to championship status, because as we know, you can't win a championship by yourself. You need help. Steph got timely help from Andrew Wiggins, from Draymond Green, who really came alive towards the end of the series. But now we look at Steph Curry's resume, and an 8-time All-Star, a 2-time scoring champion, a 2-time league MVP, now finally a Finals MVP. Combine that with his 8 All-NBA appearances, his 4 championships, his spot on the NBA's 75th anniversary team, and the question begins, well, where do we rank Steph Curry all time? And I feel it's a little premature to have this conversation because it's going to change. It can change as soon as next year. I do think, however, it is time to seriously start considering Steph Curry being maybe not just a top 10 NBA player of all time, because that debate is one that will probably there will never be a consensus. It will be a very fierce debate because, as we know, old heads are they're very unreceptive, or, sometimes closed-minded to these types of arguments, and I just don't think that we're ready for this debate yet. Now, the one debate that's going to be, I think, much closer is, how does Steph Curry compare to Magic Johnson? Because Magic Johnson is very clearly the greatest point guard that the NBA has ever seen. Of course, all the accolades, five-time world champion, one of just, in terms of being able to play basketball, one of the most gifted passers, one of the most exciting players the NBA has ever seen. Of course, 12 All-Star appearances, 10 All-NBA appearances, 12 All-Star appearances, 5 NBA championships. Of course, built that electrifying dynasty with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Was Finals MVP in 3 of those series, a 3-time regular season MVP. And, there really is nothing more I can say about Magic Johnson. And he passes the eye test. He has the hardware. His numbers are off the board. 11.5 assists a game for his career. 20 points per game for his career is just absolutely, without a doubt, the greatest point guard of all time. And I think you combine that with the fact with how he shifted the perception of the NBA, how he and Larry Bird combined saved the NBA from itself and brought it to national prominence, and then eventually global prominence with the help of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan turned the NBA into a global phenomenon, but he would not have had the platform to do that if it weren't for Earvin Magic Johnson. And when you look at the entirety of that argument, Magic Johnson, there really was nobody that compared to him. There really was no one who checked every box like Magic Johnson did. This is no disrespect to Isaiah Thomas, to John Stockton, although John Stockton is losing a little bit of he's no longer as admirable because of his fucking deranged takes on just like society, and just he's got brain disease, I feel like. Isaiah Thomas, Chris Paul, all of these guys are great in their own regards. Allen Iverson, none of them checked every box like Magic Johnson did. Steph Curry checks every box. In terms of his accolades, he's comparable to Magic Johnson. Only has one fewer league MVP, has one fewer title, has two fewer finals MVPs, but of course, we're going to have to, that's a little bit of nuance involved in this argument, is only 2 All-NBA appearances away from matching that level. Of course, I think I already said it, but he's only one title away from Magic Johnson, and he's still only 34. Like, Steph has, I'd say that Steph has at least 3 or 4 more good years in him. And then, statistically, Steph's career statistics are a little skewed, I feel like, because he didn't really pop off right away. It took a few years for him to find his footing. Of course, he had a couple ankle injuries that limited him. Lower body injuries in general just really, sucked away 2-3 seasons or so. But once he hit his prime, I mean, beginning in 2015-16, at 27 years old, and even if we go a little bit before that, if we just take everything from his first All-Star appearance in 2014, since then, Steph is at about 27 points and 7 assists. Of course, can't overlook the fact that he is the greatest shooter that the NBA has ever seen in terms of volume, in terms of accuracy, in terms of how he makes those shots. No one compares. This is probably the easiest debate to have. This is the easiest debate that NBA fans or NBA pundits or commentators can engage in, is who's the greatest shooter of all time. It's without a doubt Steph Curry. Even the old heads agree. Even Reggie Miller, who up until a few months ago was the NBA's leading three-point maker. Fucking, he made more threes than anybody else. He passed Steph, and Reggie congratulated him, and Reggie acknowledged that there is no one who did what Steph Curry is doing, and there probably won't ever be someone who does what Steph Curry is doing. And you take that, and you, again, just the garnish on top is how he single-handedly, fundamentally changed how professional basketball is played. Maybe not even professional basketball. I think just basketball as a whole. Basketball as a sport is not the same anymore because of Steph Curry. And I'm not saying that to dismiss his contributions, although if you go to the rack, it does get a little wonky, everyone shooting threes or whatever. But Steph has had a global systemic impact on basketball and has changed how people he changed how people play basketball, he changed how people think about basketball, and he changed how people perceive NBA players or basketball players in general, and how it doesn't matter if you're small, if you're undersized, if you're talented enough and you have a unique skill set, you can be one of the all-time greats. Of course, that might be a little bit of false optimism because no one's going to be able to replicate Steph Curry, but he has changed basketball in every way, shape, and form. He did it positively, and he did it while also accumulating all of the necessary accolades to put himself into, maybe the greatest of all time debate. And I'm not quite ready to go there just yet, mainly because as I get older, I'm trying to not engage in these debates while a player is still in his prime, I guess. I mean, it was a little premature we were having it with LeBron, but then again, like, a lot of us were young and dumb and we really didn't know any better. Although I think it's safe to say that LeBron at 37 years old is very clearly in the upper echelon of NBA greats, and without a doubt has earned his spot in the greatest of all time discussion. And Steph Curry will be there. I just want to see how the rest of his career plays out.